So one of my favourite times now is looking after the tomatoes, and even though we've got rain, it's still good to come down the allotment just after 6 o'clock and mess about with the tomatoes. Today we're just examining the tomatoes, giving them a food with just tomato feed, and then giving the beds a weed and just generally checking them over, see what we got. Then we go and do the same on the cucumbers and the melons. It's good to get these jobs done on a wet day. Sorted. Let's have a look. As you can see, this is Tigerella, and it's going a bit tall, and we've got quite a few fruits on it already, so we're doing good. So we're just checking for any runners, any suckers that are coming out, and we missed. There we go. So I should show you. So there's the suckers. This is what we need to remove. We can just pinch these away. Another one there. And as you can see, this one here, that one's slightly bigger. So we're just going to get the scissors and snip that one. So the fruits are doing quite well. We've got some fruits, but I also want to make some airflow, so we're going to be removing some of the lower leaves. As you can see, some of these are starting to sprout up, so they all can be removed. Make it a bit more airflow that's required. So the next tomato along is Mrs. Green Thumb's beefsteak tomato, and I know I've mentioned it before, but these marigolds, I just don't know what they're doing, but they're nice. We don't really want them in here. So we're just picking a few weeds, clearing as we go. But the marigolds are stopping the airflow, but they're nice. It's a hard choice. This is what we want, the little ones, not big ones. These are all the same. Why is some going big? And even bigger. So I don't know, they're really cramping the style of the tomato. So the next tomatoes, I put these down as Gardener's Delight, but they're turning into a bit of a monster. I've been cutting the suckers, but now I've noticed that even the trusses are sprouting new shoots. I thought this was a Gardener's Delight, but it did grow randomly in the ground, and it was where the Gardener's Delight was. but there's certainly some flowers on it, but a bit of a monster. So this year I tried strings, and although it's working, I'm not so sure about the idea still. They do need retwisting, and that's my job to do now. But we've got one main string going across the top, and then the smaller strings coming down. It's working. I'm not sure what to do with this monster though. And even this one, suckers coming through, but they're so hard to see. There's one that's missed. That can come out. So this tomato was the random tomato found in a dahlia. So this one has gathered all its leaves up really close to its body. And I'm assuming this is a gardener's delight. It's got very small tomatoes forming. But I've just cropped off the lower leaves, give it a bit more airflow, and I've wrapped it round the top, taking off the last few of the runners. So I'm not really sure what I'm expecting on this one, although it's growing quite a big tomato here. So the next tomato along is, I think, is Alicante. It certainly looks like this one. This has got bigger tomatoes coming out here. The trusses are coming through with the flowers, but it's sending out some big suckers, to which this one needs replacing, and then needs retwisting. So when it gets to the top of the string, that's where it gets cut. So looking, this one needs removing, and this one here needs removing. Probably some in here, but I'll leave those till we decide which is the main stem, which is probably this one. I'm just going to remove this lower one, as it's nearly touching the ground. And that's going to give it some more airflow. But what I've seen on this one, I don't recall before, is after the truss, there's new shoots coming through. I've not noticed that before on Alicante, but it's all looking good. And even after all this close inspection, there's still runners. So this one goes all the way down to here, and so look, this is the elbow, this is the runner, and you can see I missed it. I inspect these every week, 2 or 3 times a week, and I missed it. So a lot of the plant's energy has gone into bringing out this branch, so that's going to be removed. So this is the sucker that I've removed, and as you can see, it's sending more energy into providing fruits for this bit. So I might even stick this in the ground and see if we can grow it on a bit. So I come on to my next tomato plant, and this one is what I'm sure is a gardener's delight, which came out of my bed behind. And as you can see here, I've left this runner one, which needs to be removed. So going through, this one here needs to be removed. So trying to do it one-handed. That one goes. If we can see, that one goes. And there's another one here. That one goes. And then it can be twisted round. But also on the bottom of this one, it's growing lots more shoots. So if you can imagine, it's going to be sending lots of energy to these. So I'm going to remove all these shoots at the bottom. So this one, I've given it a trim from the lower, and I've taken off a couple of the bottom leaves, and I've checked although I've missed one there. So the suckers just come from nowhere. So there, and then that one's twisted round. So this one is another gardener's delight, and as you can see, that runner there needs to go. And another one there. This one needs to go. Sometimes the runners will grow after. You've checked it a few times before, and they'll shoot out more. And I've just removed a couple of the lower leaves. So this one's all tied round now. Could really do being a bit tighter really, but it's done. So my next bed along is the parsnips, and they've gone to seed now, which is quite interesting. But I'm going to leave them because it's been interesting watching that grow. So this tomato is marmalade, and I've not grown this one before, but I wanted to do these as they were good for outside. So just checking this one, we can see more shoots here, so this one needs to be removed. A little one here, that one needs to be removed. And these have done on poles. These are in canes, but we do have to be careful so we don't poke the top of the polytunnel with the canes. So I'm just going to inspect these ones, and if they're small enough, the runners can be pinched out. As you can see, a little one here and a little one this side. They can be pinched out. put in my pile. It pays to take time to have a look at the tomatoes because I missed a runner here, look, really early, and it's grown really big. See it? This one. It's growing its own branch. So I'm going to remove that one. And as you can see in here, this one here also needs to be removed. When you think you've got them all, it just takes time to look. So these ones we're growing on a cane, and they were tied up when they were down here. So I'm just adding an additional tie just to keep it straight, making a really loose tie just so it doesn't cut into the plant's stem. So that will do, just keeps it there, and still plenty room to grow and to move. So this one we've took off some really big suckers, and we've taken some off the bottom. So that's another job done. So when we were waiting for these tomatoes to grow, I asked the question of what can we plant in between, and various answers were given, and basil was one of the options, and I tried basil several times in pots, trays, but it didn't do nothing. But now, in the ground, in between the tomatoes, we've got some basil. So that was good. Here is the basil. I did 2 lines. Not quite sure what happened to the 2 lines, but we have got some. And it's also a good opportunity to clear the weeds while we go. So this is the marmalade once it's been sorted and tied up, and the lower leaves been removed. So we can just move the weeds and the thistles. Don't want them getting too big, and we can look forward to watching the basil grow. So these next 2 tomato plants, these are Roma, and these were sent to us by Joe for digging on dinner. And these are a pear-shaped tomato, and these are being left to grow as a bush. So they're doing quite well, and they're left to do their own thing, and there's no canes or no string to tie these up. So they're looking really good. So in between we planted some radishes, French breakfast, and these were very quick, and these have grown really well. So these can probably be harvested now. And they're looking really good. So we should take a few of these out and take them home with us. So we've got our little harvest for today, and even in between my tomatoes there's a potato. We don't want that one in there. So I shall leave some of these radishes for another day, but they are going a bit tall now, need to be removed before the strawberries get too tall. Tomatoes. So these are the two Romas, and it also gives a good opportunity to check for the weeds that are sneaking in between. So we can have a good sort out as we go. But these definitely do need to come out. So in between these two tomatoes, I put some onions. So the onions are doing well, but there's quite a few weeds in here. So a good time to de-weed these as we go. Keep on top of the weeds. One of my onions here has disappeared. So yeah, there we go. And a fizzle. There. And for some unknown reason, we've got this broccoli growing in the path. I really don't know why he's there, but it's hard to even get to the root to move him. So I think it's a kale, not a broccoli, it's a kale. So at the moment he's staying there until we think of what we can do with him. So my next tomato plant is an Alicante, and these were one of my favourites last year, so I definitely had to do it again today. So quick look, these are growing up the pole, so this needs to be tied up to the pole as it's going a bit off course. So then closer inspection, I've missed a whopping great sucker there. See, I've taken out these little ones here, but I've missed that one. And as you can see, there's another one where this finger is here, coming through. That one there needs to be removed. And maybe more at the top here. Another one here. So this one has got to go. And as you can see, it's also made his own suckers. But a lot of energy will be into that. And also this one here. Sorry, has to go. So this is going to get tied up. So when I tie these to the pole, I try and generally tie them underneath a truss where flowers are growing, and that's where the fruit will come from, and will normally be a heavier part of the plant. So a little help to tie it on gives it a bit more strength. Probably done with a bit tighter, and that, even suckers there, just gone through it. Checked them already, and look, that one there had two suckers growing together. So you could miss one. I'm even going to wrap this around the pole a little bit. If it will stay. So that's it, all the runners checked. Going to remove some of the lower leaves, as we mentioned before, for the airflow. And it looks tidier too. This one's got quite a few side shoots coming out the bottom that we don't need. So they're all removed. And also remove the stems from the soil. So that's another one looked at. You can always look and look and look. So the next section had the carrots, and they're coming up good. And then we'll just look at the next few Alicante plants, and we'll sort that out, and then we'll be done. So thank you for watching, and if you're not subscribed, please subscribe, ring the bell. Excuse my messy coat, it's raining, don't have any other coats to wear. So anyway, please join along, follow my journey. Thank you very much, take care now, cheers. So this final Alicante, I managed to chop the top off, so it's not grown. So it's a little dwarf one. These are the ones I've grown with the chilies in between. So we'll have to see what happens with these. Finally, while I'm here, we've got the peppers. And they're actually flowering now. So this is all good. You can tell when you've been handling tomatoes all day by the yellow hands.